Hey guys, how are we? Oh, bloody wet and miserable here today, so not happy. Just trying to find somewhere that's a bit dry and easy for me to shoot without getting the camera wet. Some really interesting comments coming through on the YouTube feed, which I find interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of people with different ideas on how you should go about relocating, what sort of lifestyle you should lead, and a lot of people who are patriotic and how dare you talk about Australia in such a negative light. And look, I genuinely don't care. I'm not worried. You can say whatever you want, and it's not going to offend me. Simple fact of the matter is I've been out of Australia for a couple of months, but we've set things up a couple of years back. I sort of followed the PT 5 flags principle, perpetual travel of 5 flags. Not that we're constantly traveling. I don't think you have to be. PT 5 flags is just basically a theory. You get onto YouTube or Google, whatever, and you research it. There's a lot of people that talk it up, and they're PT 5 flags, and they've got properties all over the world, and tax havens and domiciles, and they're gurus on how to live a different lifestyles, whatever. Look, the simple strategy is you got to figure out what's right for you. And for us, going to Greece, getting a golden visa was the right move, particularly because there's situations developing around the world, in particular the Asia Pacific, and you'll be seeing that more and more online and on TV and etc., particularly talking about a potential conflict with China. And China's been putting infrastructure in place in the Asia Pacific region for at least the last 15, 20 years. We've been aware of that. And I've spoken about that with heads of state, government reps from around the world, and just different things that I used to do for work. And at the end of the day, this is a very real thing. It's not something that you want to hyperventilate over. You just need to be strategic and calm and rational about what it is that you're doing. And don't get sucked into people's BS, because there's no such thing as a professional relocation expert. I don't believe there is. If you're really interested in relocating and finding the best place, you've got to get online and develop your own sort of strategy, what's best for you. I do think that there are people who are far more skilled at helping people relocate than others, absolutely. And the name of the game is actually speaking to or getting advice from people who have actually done it, not somebody who's sort of hypothesizing online and developing videos about how you to do it and all that sort of stuff, and you never actually see their face, and you never actually see where they live because they're probably in their mum's apartment or something. I don't know. I'm not trying to have a go at anyone, but I'm just sort of saying you've got to do what's right for you. I'm getting drenched here, so yeah, just try and be rational about it. Don't get sucked into sales pitches. I suppose, I've been doing it for travel like this for a long time, right? I think since 2008. And I fell in love with the idea of the PT 5 flags back then. But there's other guys that have developed their businesses around helping people relocate, like nomadic capitalists or whatever. I think that's his brand, and he does a good job. I mean, he's obviously very skilled at what he does, and so there's no qualms around that with me. because there are people who are very good at it, but there's a lot of people that are just, you know, full of it. So at the end of the day, my passion is really just to make people aware of the issues at hand and give them the impetus, the momentum to maybe become aware of different situations that are developing around the world and make a decision that's basically right for them, rather than just thinking that they're stuck in some sort of two-dimensional situation and that's their lot in life. I actually want to encourage and really motivate people to start thinking out of the box, start to discover and understand what's actually going on in the world and engaging with that, not so much on the external, but start to actually engage with that in your own thought processes and say, right, this is the actual situation that the world is developing, and how am I going to engage in that and how am I going to respond? And that's all I'm trying to do. So I set up that forum on Facebook. I think it's Overseas Exiles, but I'm in the process of setting up a forum so people can actually be on a server that we don't collect any information about people, and it's just it's run by me, it's run by the team. So at the end of the day, we're not sort of harvesting data or anything like that. There's no AI algorithms basically forming an opinion about you and gathering information for marketers. So yeah, I'll have that up and running in the next week, hopefully in the next day, but you know, maybe the next week. We'll see how we go, because I'm just so inundated with things at the moment. But just so you know what my heart is, and you know, my sort of impetus is basically just trying to help people, trying to wake people up and say, hey, maybe there's a better way to do things and a better way to live. And so, you know, you've got to go somewhere where you can live your best life, you know, and if that means that you've got to relocate, then relocate. I mean, anywhere in the Asia Pacific, it frightens me at the moment. The big thing that people aren't talking about, or they haven't really understood, is that Australia's in a particularly difficult situation, and the reason why is because Australia needs those shipping lanes open. Australia's an island nation, and without having those shipping lanes open, it has absolutely no way to export any of its goods or services and no way to import any goods or services. So that's why Australia has gone to war with America and the Allies ever since World War II, because we basically legitimise what their foreign policy is. You know, the coalition of the willing. So just don't get sucked into this sort of rhetoric about, you know, we've got to fight for freedom and whatever. Anyway, I don't want to go down that path, but I'm just saying what's developing in the Asia Pacific at the moment is particularly dangerous. And the response of the Australian government, I think, it's questionable. I just don't understand. Well, I have my suspicions, but I just don't understand why they would do what they would do in regards to mandating different therapeutic processes, if you want to call it that, and then revoking or removing civil liberties of their citizens. So, so at the end of the day, I would just sort of suggest to you maybe start thinking about some of these issues. And I know, look, I know a lot of people are talking about South America and Panama and Ecuador, and those places worry me as well. For us, that was never the right strategy, and I think Europe, in a lot of ways, sorted out a lot of its troubles back in World War II and subsequent years. So I think a lot of this stuff is fairly stable here. So anyway, guys, I don't want to get too sort of political on this sort of channel, and just my heart is really just to encourage people and just to sort of try and wake people up, and then give you the resources to think through the process in a structured, calm and rational manner. And you know, I could possibly do consulting services for people, whatever, but I don't know. It just really depends on what sort of help people are after, and my time is limited, and that's the problem. You know, I've got so much on at the moment, but you know, I know we're in a really critical point. So anyway, hope this finds you well. Go to overseas-exile.com and davelister.org and sign up. Now subscribe to this channel so you get updates, and hit the little bell notification. The more you subscribe to this channel, the more I know that there's interest in it. So and I'll just keep doing videos. So anyway guys, I hope you're doing really well. Don't panic, don't freak, but you need to be calm and rational during this time. So alright guys.